My first guest thinks nothing of swimming 40 lengths a day and goes to great lengths as an entertainer as well. She's a combination of Joyce Grenfell and Joan Rivers, though not so worldly. Until recently, she thought coq au vin was love in a lorry. That was one of her jokes. Ladies and gentlemen, Victoria Wood. Well, thank you for the joke. It's the best laugh I've had for years.
Yes, and that's the clean version.
The night is young. I see you've got your best trousers on. Very
Yes.
nice indeed. Do you have any posh frocks?
No, I used to have one sort of tent, you know, the sort of thing you might throw over your bubble car in the cold weather. But I've given up wearing them now. I thought I'd just wear suits. People do object. I do get letters. You're too fat to wear trousers. Yeah. Love, mother.
How cruel.
I know.
Now, in your latest series, you've sent up soap operas quite a bit. Does this mean that you've actually watched Crossroads and that sort of thing for years?
I've watched them for years, Crossroads especially. It's my favourite. See, they like it too.
Well, for different reasons, perhaps.
Well, Crossroads used to be more fun than it is now, because now they only do 3 a week. They used to do 4. And so there's lots of chance to get things wrong, especially there was a woman called Amy Turtle. And she could always be relied on to blow it. I remember once saying to my friend, you must watch this, Amy Turtle will get something wrong. We went right the way through the programme, and she was word perfect, no problem. And just right at the end, near the climax, she said, and another thing, you just better pull your socks off. Went off in tears.
Yes, I remember that.
That was good.
Yes. And Amy had a voice how you'd imagine a turtle to speak as well. Yeah. And your show is just, more of the same, then.
It's
really.
more of the same, really. Yes. Because I used to watch. The Cedar Tree. I mean, you see the Cedar. No, you all had jobs then, I suppose. But I used to watch it in the afternoon. It was all set in one room, and they used to say things like, "I'm just going through to the banqueting hall, darling, it won't be long." And it was all in one room, and they did a whole episode that was set a garden fete through the French windows, and they kept saying, "Goodness, it's hot out there. There must be 300 people out there." Oh, it was such a cheap show.
And things, of course, go wrong, and that's the joy of it, isn't it? Really.
I love it when they have children in things like Crossroads, because the children don't know that it's Crossroads. It's like real life, as far as they're concerned. And in Coronation Street, they used to have a little boy, Gail's little boy, and they had him for so long he learned to talk. In the end, he's about 3 now. Yes, not from them, from somebody else. And he was sitting there one day, and Chris Quintin stood up and said, "Bye-bye, Tiger." And this kid went, "I'm not called Tiger." And he went, "Ha!" "Why did he call me Tiger?" And they're going, "Never mind, darling." And the kid's walking off to the camera. What's happening?
It's like the American kids, but they always do the same things in American series. They always run out of houses saying, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy," don't they? And their faces never move, too. Now, game shows, I mean, they're popular things with you, aren't they, as well? You have a go at those.
I have been on them.
Yeah.
I've been on Call My Bluff, which is quite civilised, because all you have to do is try and mug Frank Muir in the corridor and get the answers. I've been on the Pyramid Game, and that is terribly frightening, because you have to say 7 words in 30 seconds, and if you don't do it, they don't win a toaster, and they get very cross with you. You get 7 things to do with bread: crumb under the grill, bread, brown, wholemeal, loaf, yeah, and boo boo boo, and there's the thing going boo 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 boo. No, you didn't go next, and you did 4 in a day, and oh dear.
Sounds a very dull show, really, doesn't it?
Strange.
Yeah. Everything that you touch in life seems to become, an act for you, part of you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's true, isn't it? I mean, it's all grist to the mill for you.
Yes, it has to be.
Yeah.
Anything that happens, I'll write about it.
Does this mean you were the sort of school heroine, a good all-rounder?
No, I was hopeless. I was the hopeless one.
I
was the one with
academically
the insulating tape around the glasses and the face like Dick Whittington's hanky. No, it wasn't very No, I couldn't do anything. We used to do needlework, and we had to make a needlework apron, which was a gingham apron with lots of pockets, for your buttonholes and your thread and your bottle of gin and all this sort of thing. And it took me longer to do that than it took them to do the Bayeux tapestry. I mean, it was like an old dishcloth by the time we'd finished. I couldn't do anything. No, hopeless.
But did you start writing at school?
I wrote one thing. I wrote the school pantomime, which nobody wanted to be in, so we had to have dummies on sticks as a poster. So that was it, really. It wasn't terribly successful.
And reviews, that sort of thing?
I did more later at university. I used to do reviews and things like that. I used to try and act in straight plays, but they told me I was so bad, they made me act with my back to the audience. No. Yes. They said, well, nobody will notice her if she's got her back to the audience. And all the audience is going, why has that girl got her back to the audience? Is she hideously scarred?
It's like the little old actor who played Mole. Do you remember Richard Gould?
Oh, yeah.
And he said in the fight on the Mole thing, he did it for 50 years or something, and he fell off the stage and nobody noticed. Tell me then about your big break.
My big break?
Yes.
Well, when I went out with this boyfriend that used to write songs, he writes Coronation Street now, so he's doing all right. No sympathy. And we used to write songs together, and then one day he wanted to get rid of me. And it was the time when...
Just like that?
Well, no, not... Wait on, I'll tell you. Not just like that. Because it was when flared trousers were in. They'd just come in. And remember when you had straight trousers and you wanted to make them into flares? You sewed a triangle of material... Yes, she knows. And I was doing this for him in a loving, sort of wifely way. And he said, oh, by the way, I want to get rid of you. And I said, oh, thank you very much. And he said, but finish the trousers and post them on. So I finished the trousers and posted them. I couldn't believe it. I wouldn't do it now.
You should have sewn the flies
I
up.
should have inserted those triangles. Absolutely. So then I thought, well, I'll show him. And I went in for the Pub Entertainer of the Year contest. God knows why. Idea? Well, I don't know, because I wasn't entertaining and I never went in pubs, but it seemed a good idea at the time. And I went in for it. I went in for a heat in a pub next to the Victoria Palace. And I remember standing there looking up at the Victoria Palace and thinking, one day, it was 10 years, I've still never played there. But, and I didn't win, I came third. There was a woman in hot pants won, I can't think why. And a man came second who was dressed as a skeleton, who climbed out of a coffin and sang Take No Sins, Take Off Your Skin and Dance Around in Your Bones. It was marvellous. And I came third. I didn't give up, you know. I went in for another, then I came third, and then I gave up. So that was the end of that.
Yes, like somebody said, if at first you don't succeed, try again, then pack it in. No point making a fool of yourself. But
I did get a break. Then I did get a break because I was at a party where there were lots of television producers who like to relax and, you know, let their hair down, fall out of windows and things like that. And they were all relaxing, and I was playing the piano, and people were all gathered round saying, you know, you hit her with the poker and I'll lock the lid. And somebody came up and said, this girl is marvellous, this girl is marvellous, give her a job. And they did, because they were all drunk as well. And that's how I got the job on television.
Your one-woman shows, does the reaction vary much in different parts of the country?
Yeah, in London they're more snotty. In the provinces they're more jolly. And in Scotland they don't like to laugh a great deal, I'm afraid. In certain parts of Scotland, I've played in a certain town that makes linoleum where they did not laugh. And they went through the whole show in complete silence. And then as the show finished and I left the stage, you know, crying, somebody was heard to say, well, I don't admire her dress since. And that was all.
It must be something about... We have Scottish viewers, but I remember flying miles and miles to do a charity thing once. On a summer's day, had an open-neck shirt, and someone said, you thought you'd have worn a tie. I wonder why that is. It's odd, isn't it? Well, I mean, you've had a struggle, but you've made it sound terribly funny because it wasn't all the time. But does fame now bring you joy?
It brings me a lot of embarrassment, you see, because when I used to have a fringe, people used to think I was Pam Ayres. So wherever I went, people used to say, oh, I love your mucky poems. What? Excuse me. So it's always a bit difficult, because people don't come up to you. I mean, you must know this. They don't come up to you and say, oh, my goodness, you're marvellous, I really like you. They go, is it? No, don't tell me. You're who I think you are. I don't know. Who do you think I am?
Yes.
And it's more embarrassing, because we were in... Julie Walters and I went to a pantomime in Camberley a few weeks ago. We were sitting in the audience, and a great buzz went round the audience. Look at it, look at it, look. And so we went very red, but got our pens out just in case. And we all read, poised. And it was Mike Reed, who was sitting 4 seats back.
Mike Reed?
Yes, Mike Reed, the DJ.
Oh. Now, Victoria, I feel a song coming on. Not by me, by you, I hope.
OK.
What's inspired this one?
Well, it's mainly inspired by Kevin Shanley, who I'm sure you know is Princess Di's ex-hairdresser.
Yeah.
He's given us some amazing revelations in a Sunday newspaper. And they're so exciting. He tells us that Princess Di sometimes wears slippers, apparently. And she breathes in and out all the time she's having her hair done.
It is pretty startling stuff.
It is pretty heavy.
Are you bold enough to write about that kind of thing?
I think so. I think I can take it one stage further.
I can't wait.
I get to it.